What is going on, shrimp keepers? This is Rob with flipaquatics.com, and today we are doing an update on the 480 gallon shrimp tank. We are actually adding shrimp in today, but there are a few things we have to do beforehand, and I want to show you guys what those are and those issues that we had come up and how we're going to deal with those. Alright, so issue number one is that we have these overflows on the tank, and so what's going to happen is shrimp are definitely going to go through these overflows. So we have to figure out a solution of how we're going to make those shrimp proof and how we're going to keep shrimp from just crawling over top of them once we do. So I got a few ideas. Let's see if they work. Alright, so we sell a ton of foam here. We do a lot of mat and filters, tank dividers, things like that. And basically it looks like this. Just got a hole in the center where water can go up through. Anyway, that's besides the point. So what I'm thinking, if we cut slivers of this, then we can use this to put behind it, and it should be strong enough to hold itself in there, and hopefully this will work. The only thing is I need 12 inches. This is only 11 and a half. So we'll see if it works. Alright, so if you're ever gonna cut foam, this machine, I think you get it on like Amazon or eBay, I forget what it's called. But basically it makes this little wire right here really hot, and I got this set to 3 inches, which is the width that I want. And then I'm just going to run it through like this, and it just cuts right through, so you get a perfect cut every time. So this is actually what we use to cut foam around here if we need to. And also styrofoam, so if you're getting into shipping shrimp packages and things like that, or fish packages and need styrofoam boxes, this is a great way to buy your own styrofoam and cut it. There we go. So now we're actually going to try to see if this will fit. I got some old foam in here that I use to kind of cut down on the water noise. We'll get that out of there. And then we'll see if this is going to fit or not. It actually looks like it's a really snug fit. So that's a really good thing. Now it is a little short, which I'll show you guys that in a second. But I think it's going to work out really, really well. Alright, so as you can see, it is a really, really snug fit. It comes up to the edge on here, which is really good. So I'm just going to need a little piece to go right there. The only place where it's a little questionable, I told you it was a little short, is right here where you can actually, let me see if I can get a good angle on it. You can actually see there's like maybe a 1/4 of an inch gap right there, which there's a little slit right here, but we do have it covered, just not very well. So let's see if I can zoom in from the front and see that. No, so like you can see, they're all covered. So that's great. Alright, so here's the other side of the aquarium. It's a little bit easier to see. So this one actually fit in there really well. This piece holds it on really, really snug. This piece holds it on really, really snug. And I think it's going to be really good. Now, a lot of people might say that, you know, eventually this foam will clog up, which is true. It will eventually clog. So here's the thing is, if I don't catch it in time when it does clog, this is actually a little bit below the tank, so it'll literally just overflow over here and go right down the drain. So worst case scenario isn't so bad. And there's also two, so I'll probably rotate cleaning these sponges from one side to the other, because these will hold good bacteria as well. So that's the next thing we're going to talk about, is good bacteria and getting this tank cycled for the shrimp. So, but before that, I'm going to go cut these two little pieces real quick. Alright, so I just finished the foam, and it was surprising. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but because I did raise the foam, or I did put the foam in there, the water level did rise. So I'm actually not upset about how much it rised, because it gets it closer to the top. But it went up by a good, I would say, 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit less. So like over here is a good example. You can see right there that the overflow is almost underwater. So here's going to be the next issue that we're going to run into, which is going to be interesting. So there are going to be shrimp that crawl over top of this and get down in the drain. I was thinking of many solutions for that, like putting polycarbonate over the top or something like that. I just don't think I'm going to, and the reason being is this is what I have going on down here. I have 2 matin filters, so I have a matin filter right here, and I have one right here. This one is mainly just to soften the water flow. So this one is actually going to prevent the blue bolts from getting from one side to the other. So I think what I'll do is I'll just leave it open up top, and then if any do get down here, they'll literally just be stuck in this portion, and then I'll be able to net them out. Or, you know, they could even live out their lives down there. You know, you just never know. Because this is the section with the actual pump and the overflows, and so as long as nothing gets between this section and that section, I think we're going to be okay. So this actually leads me to the next thing that I wanted to point out is we need to get this tank cycled. It's not easy. It's a massive tank. Right now we do have 1 matin filter down in the sump, like I just showed you, but that just isn't enough filtration. We're definitely going to put an FX4 on this in the future, which is going to create a lot of mechanical filtration with also biological filtration. We're going to have some sponges in there, but right now we really don't have anything to really house beneficial bacteria, which is going to be an issue. And so I wanted to bring this up. Brightwell, as you know, has been awesome about sponsoring this tank. They've really helped us a ton. They sent us a lot of great products like all the soil below. But one thing that I wanted to use was these building blocks. But Brightwell currently only has them for marine tanks, so it has to be a pH above 7 or they'll just break down. And so these are actually crazy. They have like, I forget how they explained it, but basically it has the most surface area that is physically possible, or it would get clogged up for biological filtration. So these are the most porous like substance that you can use for your sump that is available on the market today. And so I told them, like, it'd be so cool if you guys had this in a freshwater version. And to my surprise, they were actually working on it. And so they told me they would send me some experimental things that are experimental units that I could actually use for that tank and see how it goes for us and see how they work. And then we can actually give them product feedback. So it is coming out in a freshwater version. I'm not sure when, but like, as you can see, they did send it to me. I don't know if it's gonna read backwards or not, but it says experimental, not for sale. And then it talks about what it is. But they're a little bit different color, and that's how they can tell whether it's freshwater or marine water, based on the color. And so they sent us a bunch of cubes. We're actually gonna use these in some smaller setups. What they sent us for this big tank is really cool. They sent us these massive bricks. Like, I wanna say this is about 10 inches by 10 inches, something like that. So this is a pretty big brick, and you could just feel like this is pretty light, but this thing's awesome. So we are going to test this out. Now they did say it was very, very fragile, so think of it as like an eggshell. It looks strong in nature, but this thing could break really easy because the walls of the pores are very thin. And so like, if I put a lot of pressure on this, I'm sure my finger could go right through it. Now they do want extremely low flow use on this. I'm gonna try it in a somewhat slow flowing, well, it's kind of a high flowing area. We're doing about 800 gallons an hour, which they would like you to be around like 1 to 2 gallons per hour. So I don't have a setup for that. So they did send me 2 bricks. I'm gonna try one in the high flow area, and then I'm actually gonna move one into a smaller tank that I'm gonna build underneath there and put it in the 1 to 2 gallon per hour range. So this one brick should easily filter this entire tank as far as biological filtration. It should. So we're gonna put it to the test. Hopefully the results are incredible. Again, huge shout out to Brightwell for being so great about providing all this. So we got our media, which is the export BioBlocks, or actually the BioPlate for freshwater. So that's gonna be real interesting to see if it works. Now it's actually getting live bacteria in there to colonize it, and how we're gonna do it. So Brightwell actually sent us this product. We have been using it in all of our tanks for a really long time. It's basically just live bacteria. It's called Florinbacter. So this is what it looks like. It comes in a multitude of sizes. This is an amazing product. We have used it every time we get an import in. We simply cannot just take a tank that has no shrimp in it and put 1,000 shrimp in it or 200 shrimp and just expect it to be okay. So whenever we get an import in, we will dose this in all the tanks for an extended period of time, usually about 2 weeks, and then it's okay. and then as we sell them, the numbers will dwindle down, and then we'll have to redo this cycle. Actually, we have been using Florinbacter for about 2 years now, and so it's a product that I really stand behind, and that's why it's really great partnering up with a company that you already believe in, because it's so easy to get behind their products because you're already using them. So again, we're gonna pour some of this in, we're gonna get that tank cycled, and then we're gonna add this. All right, so this is our chamber with the pump. There's really not a lot of water in there right now. The water level's here, which is only about 6 inches, and that's because we got the water so close to the top now. And so we're actually gonna add this bio plate in here. It's actually the export bio cube or bio plate, and we're just gonna set it in there. Now what I'm thinking is if we put it in the corner right here where there's not like a ton of direct flow, it's basically all the flow's going over to the pump. I'm thinking it's not gonna have a lot of current because as you can see, like, there's really not a lot of flow going on in here. There's a lot of particles floating in the water and they're not getting sucked right to the filter. So I think it's gonna do well down here. It doesn't have any direct flow hitting on top of it. It's just kind of sitting in the sump where there is flow. And so I'm confident this is gonna work, but time will tell. All right, so we're actually gonna add the Florinbacter. Now how they recommend dosing this, it's 4 drops per gallon. So literally, first thing you do is you wanna shake it well, just like it made us Coke from last week. Just shake it real well. Now, it's 4 drops per gallon. So literally, they make it real easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're not actually gonna go like this for the whole 480 gallons because we'd be here all day. We actually have a monster bottle of it that we use for our shrimp tanks, and we're gonna be adding this in. But this stuff is super easy. You really don't have to be worried about overdosing bacteria just because you really can't. But you don't want to overdose it. The only reason why is because you don't want to waste it. You know, overdosing it really doesn't have crazy benefits to it. But, you know, don't be worried about overdosing it. Again, 4 drops per gallon, but we're gonna use this big tank and get this stuff in here quick. Again, you wanna shake it really good. And what we're gonna do is we're literally just gonna give it some rolls. Do that, come over to the other side, hit it. And then we're going to hit it down below as well. Now, what we'll probably do is we will probably dose this for a couple days, probably even upward of like 2 weeks. And then every time we add shrimp, we'll probably dose it again just to get some extra bioculture, biobacteria, just extra biocultures in the tank to make sure we equate for the extra waste that's going to be accrued. All right, so currently we're adding more water to the sump. We got it going in there. You can see the water levels rising up. But one issue that we are currently having, which isn't a huge issue because I think it's dying, is there's some hair algae that was originally on the moss that we hoped would die off pretty quick. And I don't think it is. I mean, it might be. Like, it doesn't look super healthy, but it's still there. So we need to get rid of it. We need to make sure that this tank stays as clean as possible. And also there's a decent amount of mulm forming, which is like biofilm. It's growing off of the driftwood. You can see it's kind of like a moldy looking thing. There's some in between these two right there. So we need to get this tank looking good. There's some plants that didn't do super well, like the Trident Java fern. It didn't do super great, but it also has like brand new leaves coming up right there. So it's kicking back. So hopefully we can add in some shrimp that are really gonna start making a difference to keep this tank clean and spotless, which leads me to what shrimp we're adding in today. All right, so I got my 2 favorite employees working on it. Number 1 is probably Jeff. No, they're both the same. Tyler's actually been my best friend ever since we were little kids. We went to school together, and so we're actually catching out of 2 Amano shrimp ponds that were pretty close to empty when we were doing shipping this week. And so here's what we're adding in. We're actually going to add in about 200 of these guys, somewhere between 200 and 250. Just depends on how many are left over in these tanks. And so Jeff's are. I know, these are the new ones from the new import order. They look like the size of like huge cherry shrimp. Whereas like these guys are still not even close to full grown. They're like a solid inch and a half. So yeah, so we're gonna add a bunch of these in today, and hopefully that will take care of our algae issue, and also get the tank really cycled, because these guys are the most hardiest shrimp out there. If you can't keep a mono shrimp, you will not be able to keep any other shrimp. The only thing is they do like to crawl out of the tank, so you make sure you have a lip around it. Rimless tanks, these probably aren't a good idea unless you have a cover, but we're gonna get them in there. These guys will definitely find their way down to the sump. So this will be a good experiment for when we get the Taiwan Bees. What is going on, shrimp keepers? So I did want to take a minute in the video and say that Black Friday is coming up. So first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you guys have a safe holiday, visiting family, enjoying time with friends. If you don't have family or friends, just know that I'm thinking about you, and I'm going to be doing a video on Thursday, so you can watch that, and hopefully there's going to be plenty of live streams. So much love coming from me and the Flip Aquatics family. And with all that being said, we are running a Black Friday sale. No obligation to buy, but if you guys are interested, we are running 15% off our entire website every day starting from Thursday through Monday. We're gonna have specials each day on top of the 15% off. So be watching for that. Subscribe to our newsletter from our website, and you guys can see what we're doing. And so definitely take advantage. The coupon code will be right here somewhere. And again, Black Friday sale starts on Thursday. So 15% off. So this will not be active now. It will start this Thursday and run through Monday. So guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for being a part of Flip Aquatics. Enjoy the rest of the video, and God bless. Alright, so I think we got a little bit more than 200. Looks to be about 50 or 60 in there, about 50 in there, and then just a pile in here. Check all these guys out. The little ones, and then these ones were all the ones from the old import. So we're gonna add them into one container and then add that to the tank all at once.
Rob's carrying it. They're going for a ride.
Ooh, we lost one. This is a mono shrimp. They literally just crawl.
You got him, Jeff. If he stops hot.
Get him, Jeff. Save his life. Save him, Jeff. Smart. Look at all these guys. They're gonna do some work on the new tank. So we got all the mono shrimp. You could just see there's like literally a ton in here. At least 200, probably like 250. So we're gonna add them into the big tank. Jeff's gonna pour them in. I got T on the GoPro right there. And let's see how this goes. Jeff, let me actually switch you spots. Do nice and slow, buddy. Adding in all of the mono shrimp. Oh, there they go. Look at that. They're definitely, like, that's crazy. So it looks like a lot now, but once they like kind of find their places, you will not be able to see many of them.
I don't know if it's dead or what. It's one off.
What, T?
The light's still
T, quit ruining the audio. Golly.
Yeah, the screen went off, man.
No, the screen goes off. It's fine.
Okay, well, nobody told me that.
Look how blue these Amanos are.
Where'd they go?
Here we go. Awesome, T. Good work, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, so it's been about 15 minutes since we added the shrimp. You can see they are all over the place, but it definitely doesn't look like we added in, 200, 250 shrimp. They found their hiding places. They're all throughout the plant. Like anywhere you could look, there's a shrimp. So super, super awesome. The moss is finally doing really good, as you can tell. It looks really green. It's covering up most of the glue marks. So that's super exciting. Like I said, most of the plants are doing spectacular. Like here's a crypt that has a bunch of babies coming off of it, and there's multiple of those. So super excited. What I love is how the shrimp are like getting down in this dragonstone and hiding in it. And so this tank is gonna have a ton of surface area for algae to grow, biofilm to grow. So these guys are gonna have tons to forage around. Like they're literally just everywhere. So I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited that there's shrimp in here. I'm super excited to start feeding this tank every day and kind of just like sit back in my chair and watch it. So this is what's gonna make the hobby super fun for me again, and I love it. So excited. So these guys should clean up this tank in no time, take care of any algae that's in here, and just start getting this system ready for the Taiwan bees that are coming. All right, so we just finished adding in all the shrimp. They're looking great. I love that they're running around the tank. I'm super excited to start feeding them, checking on them every day, seeing how they're doing, and it's just one step closer to adding the Taiwan bees and just making this tank huge and awesome and successful. And I just love it. Like just the fact that the plants are growing in, they look great. A lot of the Java fern is sprouting babies, which is super exciting. The Crypt Winty is having babies. Like there's just tons of good stuff going on. So for example, the lilies have these huge leaves that are taking over. So everything is just super exciting. So I did want to give another big shout out to Brightwell for donating everything. The Flora and Bacter, again, even though they sponsored this video and they donate all this stuff for free, I will say that I do use this. I believe in it. I think it's a great product. It's the Flora and Bacter. You can find this on Amazon. We'll eventually be selling it on our website, but we don't have it listed now. So again, huge shout out to them. Thank you so much, Brightwell, for being a part of this with us. Thank you for believing in us and spending so much to make this tank come to life and be what it is today. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving, and I will talk with you guys soon. God bless.